On a rainy night in Boise, Idaho, it's a critical Mountain West Conference showdown. Division rivals square off, Wyoming and Boise State here in the Treasure Valley. Both teams coming in at 4-2. Both teams have won their last 3 ball games, and both teams undefeated in Mountain West Conference play at 2-0. Well, the weather will be a factor. Alongside of Tom Ramsey, I am Roy Philpott. Great to have you with us as always. When we talk about this matchup, we talk about Josh Allen, number 17 in white for Wyoming. It hasn't been the best start in his junior campaign, but he's starting to turn it on here as of late.
Well, one of the top quarterbacks in America and likely the number 1 draft pick in the NFL draft next spring, Roy. He is the Wyoming Cowboy team, program, offense. He does it all. He'll both run and pass tonight against a tenacious and really high-flying Boise State defense tonight.
Well, the Broncos defense setting the tone last week in an upset win on the road at nationally ranked San Diego State. And they will be in charge here in rainy conditions, cold conditions on their home turf, the blue turf, to try to set the tone tonight. Wyoming won the coin toss and elected to receive from the 4. Brought down crossing the 30, ahead to the 32. And our first look at Josh Allen coming up right now. And Tom, this is a player that many are expecting to be a top 10 pick in next summer's draft, maybe the number 1 overall pick. But he lost so many weapons from last year's team that finished 8-6, won the Mountain Division. And it's just taken a little bit of time to find his rhythm this year.
You know, the timing and continuity of their offense didn't take really form until just about 2 weeks ago, and with a win over Hawaii, they won in overtime, and he found his receiver, James Price, that night in the win, Roy, and I think we're going to see a little more James Price tonight.
Trey Woods, the converted linebacker in the backfield, and Allen with time surveys and fires a strike close to a first down. They'll rule it incomplete. As with the reception, Austin Fort slid out of bounds. He could not quite corral it.
I was awfully close to a catch. Fort made a sliding catch, and you mentioned it's raining tonight. The surface is a little bit slippery on that blue turf, and you saw where Josh Allen really waited until he saw his receiver come open.
Temperatures expected to dip into the upper 30s by the time we reach the fourth quarter tonight. Allen on the keeper, and this is something that we talked about with the Wyoming coaching staff this week, Tom. He's going to have to run the football more effectively for this offense to get in gear, and they've struggled on the ground this season.
Well, and I think he has to run the ball and be an effective runner tonight, because in order to keep the Boise State defense on their toes, they're reading and reacting. They're trying to keep eye discipline in the backfield. They're looking for the running back, Trey Woods, but Josh Allen is such a dynamic player and a runner. He can beat you on third down, too.
Nico Evans checks in for the first time as Johnson goes in motion on 3rd and 7. And the Broncos showing pressure. Allen with time, fires another strike. That'll move the chains, and a big 3rd down conversion as C.J. Johnson makes his 16th grab of the season.
And Roy, right there, Boise State did not blitz a lot last week against San Diego State. That time they brought blitz, tried to put a little pressure on Josh Allen, but you see how quickly he gets rid of the ball, and ball's out of his hands. First down Pokes.
That's a gain of 12. They needed 7. Cowboys coming off a big road win at Utah State last weekend in come-from-behind fashion. As Woods dives into plus territory, that's a gain of 6 on first down, and that's an impressive start for this Cowboys offense.
Trey Woods is really young in the backfield. He did not go through fall camp. He ended up going to running back after fall camp, converting from linebacker, and they just didn't have the horses. When Brian Hill left, went to the NFL draft, Trey Woods became the honoree right after fall camp broke.
Harshman lines up in the slot. Allen, another missile. It's incomplete, and too much mustard on that pass. It'll bring up 3rd down and 5. Pass intended for James Price.
And just a moment ago, we talked about Wyoming's offense and the depleted players. They had Tanner Gentry, of course, with the Chicago Bears, Brian Hill, a great running back, Jacob Hollister to the champion New England Patriots, and Chase Roulier, who was an awfully good center and guard for Wyoming. He was a center as well.
Evans back at running back on third down. Allen with time. Pass is caught. Needed to reach the 48. Ball came out late. They'll rule him down. The time, I believe he's going to come up just short. DeAndre Pierce in coverage.
It appears they're going to be just short, and they are going to go for it on fourth down. They're rolling in the extra tight end. Austin Fort comes in. Going heavy package.
After the grab by Conway, fourth and a long one. The bruiser Woods will flank Allen. They'll run the option. Allen fakes the toss. That should be good enough to move the chains.
Again, that's the dynamic, really, capability of Josh Allen. What he provides you on fourth down, he's able to fake a pitch, get the first down on fourth.
He's surprisingly athletic for the 6'5" frame. He has a cannon for an arm. He can move the chains on the ground if he needs to. The story well documented by now. Allen without a single Division I scholarship offer coming out of high school. A brilliant play fake here on the wheel route. Rumbling towards the 10. It'll be first and goal for the Cowboys. Vander Esch was able to shove the fullback, Van Manen, out of bounds.
Well, and Roy, they run the wheel route, and Van Manen, the fullback, just gets lost behind the linebackers, and it's the one aspect of the Boise State defense. Andy Avalos, the defensive coordinator, said cannot happen. They can't lose eye discipline. They can't have a guy running a wheel route down the sideline. Right there, Josh Allen finds him.
After a gain of 30. Woods straight ahead. Just short. We'll see if that's good enough for a first down. It should be second and short. Cowboys can still pick up a first just inside the 2.
And DeAndre Pierce from his free safety position comes up and puts a wallop on Trey Woods, but not before he gets down inside the 5. And you're right, they're about an inch away from getting a first down.
Allen under center. Deep give to Woods. Needed to get to the 2 to get the first, and I think he came up just short again.
That play just really didn't have a chance. Trey Woods, it was a little tentative when he took the handoff from Josh Allen, and it was almost like he was running in quicksand there, and the Bronco defense just reacted well. Red run the whole way and put a stop on him.
Cowboys need a yard to keep the drive alive. Allen, the spin, and towards the goal line. He comes up just short, but Tom, that's good enough for a first down.
Nice little play call there by Brent Vegan, the offensive coordinator. Almost gives the impression that you're going to run power to the strong side, then he loops around and sneaks it in.
Off a tempo, they'll try to push the pile. And the Broncos up to the challenge inside the 1. One time you see a lot of teams try to go with that tempo offense, try to catch the defense off guard. And now nothing doing against that very stout front 4 for Boise State.
Yeah, that was a good old-fashioned rugby scrum there, too. Trying to push the pile and get Josh Allen over, and Van Manen, the big fullback, 36. Trey Woods in there, just not enough help.
Johnson to the top of the screen. Allen the dive. Did he get there? He did. Touchdown Cowboys on their opening possession right down the field.
Well, that's a recipe for a road upset right there. When you take the ball, you win the toss, you take the ball, and you want the offense first, and Josh Allen delivers.
Where Wyoming here in Boise, Idaho, takes the opening possession right down the field, some 68 yards for an early 7-0 lead. Cowboys have won their last 3 ball games. Boise State has as well. Both teams undefeated in the Mountain West Conference. Division rivals within the Mountain Division. As Wilson from his own 8. The former high school quarterback is off to the races and tripped up crossing the 40. Broncos with outstanding field position for their first possession. Brett Rippon is the starting quarterback for the Broncos. And he'll tuck it and run into plus territory, and a nice pickup. Officially a gain of 12 on the quarterback keeper.
Well, Brett Rippon's just on a rollout, and he gets man coverage, and with man coverage, everyone disappears, and there's a huge running lane for the quarterback, and they finally bring him down after a first down.
Malawia with the stop. Junior out of Spokane, Washington. Like his counterpart for the Cowboys, it hasn't been the best start for Brett Rippon's season. Near side toss, Alexander Madison keeps the play alive. Ushered out of bounds inside the 30 by Andrew Wingard. And this is what Madison has done the last 2 games, Tom. He's built career highs in consecutive weeks on the ground for the Broncos.
Well, Madison finally got on track, as you mentioned, against BYU, going for 118. And then last week against the Aztecs in San Diego, going for a career best 128. And he just really has been determined to run behind a powerful offensive line.
Throw the H-back. Inside give to Madison. Keeps the play alive again, driving his legs down to the 10. Wingard again with a stop, but not before another big game for Boise State.
Well, in talking to Brian Harsin yesterday, the head coach, I asked him, is Alexander Madison the next great running back for Boise State? Can he be a 1,000-yard rusher? And he said, absolutely. He's gotten untracked, and he's a strong, powerful runner right there. He's running at Wyoming's best right there, Andrew Wingard.
A run Wildcat with Madison. Now he'll step aside, and Rippon remains in there. Lane coming down in Boise. Inside give to Madison again as he crosses the 10. Broncos can pick up a first down at the 1.
Well, the play made that time by Carl Granderson, who had just a spectacular game a week ago from his defensive end position against Utah State. And Granderson, he can't do it all. They're a little thin tonight, Roy, at the defensive line position. And Scotty Hazelton, the defensive coordinator, told us, you know, they'd be thin, and they got defensive tackles really have to step up.
Montel Cozart, the second-string signal caller, checks in for the first time. Grad transfer from Kansas, more of a dual threat option for Brian Harsin, and straight ahead for a short pickup. Well, we were told that Cozart would play early. He played late last week in the upset at San Diego State. And Tom, really, it's just a different option at quarterback. And these two signal callers have done a really nice job this year maintaining a friendship and helping out the Bronco offense at the same time.
Yeah, they really complement each other well. Cozart back off the field, Rippon back on, and I just think it gives you a lot of momentum when you have a quarterback like Cozart come in with a whole package of plays.
On third down, Broncos need 5. Can get a first down inside the 1. Rippon with time. Rippon now lassoed, and down he goes. Carl Granderson had an interception and a safety last week in the road win at Utah State. Another big play for 91 in white.
Well, and Granderson, for his efforts a week ago at Utah State, was named Mountain West Conference Player of the Week for those defensive accomplishments. And right there, he just comes off the edge. He ducks underneath and just makes the hit on Rippon. And I tell you what made the play. The downfield coverage was excellent.
After a loss of 6, Hayden Hogarth, who's been perfect this year, checks in for the first time. And the transfer from Bethune-Cookman missed the chip shot. The 29-yard attempt is no good, and the Cowboys defense stands. What a start on the road here in the Treasure Valley. The Cowboys lead it by a touchdown after the miss by Hogarth. On a rainy night here in the Gem State, Wyoming out in front of Boise State 7-0. Josh Allen back on the field. And a quick handoff. Will net a yard on first down, brought down by Sam Whitney. So Trey Woods, it's been a busy start for number 6 in white. Cowboys have struggled trying to establish the run this year, Tom. Just 3.1 yards per carry on the season. That ranks 121st in the nation.
Yeah, they started off awfully slow the first couple weeks and really found a little more groove the last few with 3 wins. It helped them out.
Play action for Allen. Off the back foot. Lobs it deep. And a pass will be incomplete. Trying to spot C.J. Johnson on the fly pattern. That was sailed out of bounds. Rain is coming down fairly steadily so far. It's expected to continue deep into the second half.
Yeah, it's been coming down since this afternoon, and there's even a chance that it could turn into a little snow flurry late. So I would say maybe advantage the Pokes being from Laramie.
That's a great look at it right there on third down. Could be the final play of a fast-moving first quarter. Allen, here comes the pressure. Flag on the field. And on the pump fake, shoved out of bounds by Vander Esch. And no penalty on the end of that sequence, but a flag resting at the 33.
Well, I'm surprised the flag didn't come out earlier. I thought Vander Esch definitely hit him late out of bounds. He was in the white and had gone out of bounds.
And it did pop out right after I indicated that it did not. So our veteran Mountain West officiating crew thinking about it a little bit longer, and I do believe that is a late hit out of bounds.
During the play, holding, defense, 10-yard penalty from the end of the run. Also on the play, dead ball, personal foul, late hit on the defense, 15 additional yards, and automatic first down.
So after a gain of 2 on third and long, they'll tack on 25 in penalty yardage.
That's a huge swing, and Brian Harsin, the head coach of Boise State, out on the field. But I think it's going to go for naught. And Craig Bohl knew right away when his quarterback took a late shot. Vander Esch is not a small guy either, 6'4", 240 pounds.
And the late hit was on number 38.
Vander Esch flagged with that. And then the defensive hold, Roy, is just, it's an automatic first down. So that just really was insult to injury there.
Live ball, 1 time down.
Jabril Frazier playing that stud position for the Broncos, guilty of the hold. And an untimed down to end our first quarter coming up right now. Two tight ends, 2 wide outs, out of the pistol for Allen. And Trey Woods stacked up, driven backwards by Jabril Frazier. On what will be the final play of our first quarter, the Cowboys out in front. Only beating the Broncos 1 time. That came last year back in Laramie by 2. They'll try to do it again as we begin the second quarter moments from now. Start of our second quarter, 7-0 Wyoming. The Cowboys out in front. Tom Ramsey, Roy Philpott. We go back in time. It was just 1 year ago where the Cowboys pulled off their only win in this series. It was a late touchdown toss. They got Wyoming back in it before a safety ended up being the difference. 30-28 the final score, and that game was critical in lifting the Pokes to the Mountain Division Championship. Trying to do the same thing on the road tonight in the seam, wide open. Pass will be picked off. It's intercepted by DeAndre Pierce, and Pierce with blockers. Into Cowboys territory, a mistake by Josh Allen. Just too much zest on that pass, and Pierce makes him pay.
Yep, one got away from Josh Allen there, and I thought Pierce made a fantastic play, playing over the top, single high safety, and they had what they wanted. Austin Ford ran a little double move, and the ball just hung up a little bit. And
sideline warning on Boise State's sideline. There is no yardage attached to the first warning.
I'll let David Alvarez finish his call and giving Boise State a warning on the sideline celebration, but they tried to get the double move to Austin Ford. DeAndre Pierce just making just a great play. And, you know, I talked to Ashley Ambrose, the defensive back coach for Boise State, a longtime NFL player himself, and I asked him, I said, hey, what makes DeAndre Pierce special? He said, Tom, he has such great eyes, and he was a corner nickelback a year ago. They had to move him to safety because he sees it so well.
Madison far side. A little tap dance inside the 25, and some late power will draw a flag. Now Logan Wilson in the area will check the penalty. Fall camp had a foot injury that set him back. He had shoulder surgery after last season.
After the play, personal foul, late hit out of bounds, number 30 on the defense. Half a foot to the goal and automatic. First down.
And the Wyoming native Logan Wilson, the guilty party, the Mountain West Conference Freshman of the Year last season. A costly mistake here, Tom.
Boy, you know, and I thought that was a little questionable. I thought the Boise State bench really was the impetus for that flag coming out. They were hollering and looking for one, and sure enough, it came out.
Double tied far side. Rippon back on the field. Inside give to Madison, who's sandwiched down between two defenders. After a gain of 2, it was Granderson and Ortiz.
And Roy, in this, what Boise State's able to do in the red zone is bring in multiple tight ends, and really the guy that's so important to this formation is number 88, Jake Rowe.
Cozart back on the field. That's it. Offensive coordinator Zach Hill has been very liberal in switching up quarterbacks in the Broncos' first 3 possessions, as that one floats incomplete. Well, interesting how they've decided to use these 2 quarterbacks, basically interchanging Rippon and Cozart at any point, at any time.
I think it's been really impressive. It puts a lot of pressure on the defense, and you know, there's no quarterback controversy. Brett Rippon's the starter, and Montel Cozart comes in and has packages of plays. And last week against San Diego State, they were running the ball so well with Cozart, they just left him in, and he finished out the second half, and they finished out with a win.
Broncos looking for their first points. Monster in motion. Cozart remains in there. The handoff to Madison, stacked up. Well short of first down yardage. Jalen Ortiz, the senior from Arizona, and the UCLA transfer with a hit. Interesting play call on 3rd and long.
Yeah, Ortiz really kept his eyes locked in the backfield and made a really nice play that time. He did not get fooled and just really kind of was responsible for the edge, handled it, and made the tackle.
Hogart back on the field to attempt basically an elongated extra point, and this time he connects from 23 yards out. So the Broncos cash in after the interception. It was the first pick of the season for DeAndre Pierce. He brought it back 57 yards, and Josh Allen's got to be better for the Cowboys to have a shot. 7-3 our score. Boise State, first points of the night. DeAndre Pierce with a turnover belt. After returning that interception, 57 yards, and a really crafty play by the sophomore free safety. Tom Ramsey, Roy Philpott. Very busy evening in college football. A couple of blowouts. I'll tell you more about that.
We thought last week was busy.
Well, it tends to get that way just past the midway point. And from the 3, Brought out crossing the 30, a nice return. Cowboys will have decent field position. Rainy night in Boise. Josh Allen back on the field as the Cowboys lead the Broncos 7-3. Allen considered by many to be the top quarterback prospect that could be available in next year's draft. You see all the awards he's up for this year. It's the preseason Mountain West Conference Offensive Player of the Year. Well, Tom, again, it's the second game we've seen of the Cowboys, and probably not the start he would like, but his team does have a 4-point lead.
Yeah, and he won the last game we watched, so it was impressive.
We'll set up the screen. And the spin by the tight end, Tyree Mayfield. It was brought down by Vander Esch. They look at the numbers tonight. 6 of 13 through the air, just under 70 yards with a pick. It's been that kind of season for him. Is it as simple as the weapons are gone and it's taking time, or is there something else occurring? Because many people still think top 10 pick, and you've maintained from day one, you still think he could be the number 1 or 2 pick in next year's draft.
Number 1 or number 2 off the board in the NFL draft. And you're right, he has pedestrian numbers so far tonight, but it's game's far from over.
Right up the gut on the keeper, across the 40. And tripped up crossing the 45 by Leighton Vander Esch. That'll move the chains.
And that's one aspect of his game right there. Again, you talked about what a great athlete he is at the top of the broadcast. And Roy, to do that and get a huge gain against this Boise State defense, that's just it's a huge play. It doesn't show up in the stats, but it's a huge play.
After a gain of 18. Pitch and catch to Conway for a short pickup. We'll see if the Cowboys use a timeout. And they will. Tyler Horton brought him down.
I think the one thing for Wyoming this year, and Craig Bohl told us this, he said they have confidence and they believe, and that gives you sometimes the extra additive you need in close games.
2nd down and 6, Cowboys with 1 timeout to work with. Allen, backside pressure. And it took some time, but down he goes. Jabril Frazier got there and lassoed him down. That's another thing you actually like about Allen. He's hard to tackle. He's a big body, and that means something at the next level.
Well, Roy, it's a great point because Jabril Frazier is a big dude. He's 6'4", 250, coming off the edge. And to not fumble the ball there and to protect it, I mean, you know, you go, oh, yeah, he got sacked. No, he got sacked because the guy's a great player coming off the edge, but he didn't give up the ball.
It's an interesting way to look at it. The common fan's going to say, well, he should have gotten rid of it. The pressure was there clearly.
Well, what did I say yesterday about Jabril Frazier? I said, hey, if we're picking number 1, like if we're just playing sandlot ball, I'm picking him. I'm picking either he or Josh Allen first to play on my team.
Broncos showing pressure on 3rd and 12. And here they come. Allen keeps the play alive, flings it deep, and the pass will be caught. Conway brought it in. They needed 12. He picks up 14.
How about that escapability, and how about that throw down the field? Little spin move by Josh Allen. And then a rocket. And they're going empty. 3 wideouts up top, 2 below. Remember, Josh Allen can run with the best of them.
Allen this time with time. The pump fake. And the pocket collapsed late. Jabril Frazier again. Number 8 in blue's done a nice job in this first half.
And Roy, I think one of the things the Boise State defense has to be careful about, if they go man coverage and 5 wides, as we watch Frazier come off the edge, Josh Allen can scramble. He can pick up 20 yards and get out of bounds. That's a great play by Frazier off the edge, going against Zach Wallace.
Evans, the running back. Broncos will bring 4. Allen sandwiched, and down he goes. Back at the 48-yard line of the Cowboys. That's going to be a loss of 6. Latata got there with the clock running down. See if the Cowboys elect to try one more shot.
Yeah, Chase Hatada, they give so much attention to Jabril Frazier. They chipped him with the back, and Wyoming's going to go ahead and jog off the field and take the lead.
The end of the first half.
Now, we thought it would be a defensive struggle, and that's exactly what it's been. 7-3 our halftime score as we send you now to the studio. Chris Cotter will get you caught up to date on everything happening in college football. Chris, on a chilly night in the Gem State, start of our second half. Wyoming leading Boise State 7-3, and the Broncos set to receive this third quarter kick. Cedric Wilson, 2 yards deep, and with a running lane, he'll cross the 25 and be brought down there. Great to have you with us as always, alongside of Tom Ramsey. I am Roy Philpott, and a defensive-oriented first half, kind of what we expected with two of the better defenses in the Mountain West.
Well, and Boise State really stymied on third down, Roy, and I think that plays in such a huge part in the total offense and really the production of that Boise State offense. But you're right, the defense is playing well. The back end of the Wyoming defense really has stepped up, making a lot of tackles and flying around.
And it's something that the Boise State coaching staffs talked with us about this week. That was the one component that surprised them last year in that 2-point loss back in Laramie. The stickiness of the Wyoming secondary was a major factor then, and it has been so far this evening. Out in the flats, Madison with the grab and shoved out by Ortiz. So underway in our third quarter, what does Brett Rippon need to do maybe to try to refine his rhythm that we saw at times last week in that road win at San Diego State, because it hasn't been there tonight against this very stout defense?
Yeah, I think you have to get more production on first and second down and give yourself a chance on third down and not get into 3rd and 8s.
Rowe motions out. Tunnel screen to Wilson. Makes a nice move near side. First down. So a gain of 9 yards on 2nd down and 8. And the former high school quarterback and baseball standout Cedric Wilson, one of 3 team captains, gets the job done.
And that's a good start, getting the ball to their playmaker and arguably their best player for the Broncos. Ced Wilson really is a dynamic player, super fast and strong, great hands, and he can really hurt you going down the field.
Offensive play caller Zach Hill told us verbatim he's the best player we've got. Rippon again, looking downfield. Sense the pressure, flings it incomplete. Madison should have had it. Granderson applying the pressure. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Boy, Granderson is just wrecked the Boise State offense tonight. He really has played well. Leading tackler in the first half, 7 tackles, and coming off the edge, Roy, he's such a disruptive player. I thought Brett Rippon did a great job just getting rid of the ball.
And he put it in a spot where Madison should have reeled it in. On 2nd down, play action. Modster has it crossing the 45 and sent out at the 46 by Ortiz. Well, 3rd down and short upcoming for the Broncos.
Well, at least you're getting a chance with 3rd and 3. And I think this is what Brett Rippon, where he's better. They came in to tonight's game averaging 40% on 3rd down. Actually, almost 41%. They've 1 of 6 in the first half, but right here, utilizing spread offense.
Cowboys will fake pressure. Essentially a 6-man front and out drop 2 linebackers back. Rowe's got it. Drive continues on 3rd down. Rippon on target there to his tight end number 88. Jake Rowe has had himself quite a season, battling a couple of injuries last year and again this year, Tom. But Jake Rowe, senior from Scottsdale, getting the job done.
Steady is Rowe, and I think, Roy, your question to me, what does Brett Rippon need to do? I think he's doing it right now. He's getting it to his playmakers, Ced Wilson and Jake Rowe.
There are 4-2 teams undefeated in Mountain West Conference play. On 3rd down, a rifle shot down to the 32-yard line, and Boise State, after a 13-yard pickup, See this drive continue. Cedric Wilson finally calling his name in the downfield passing game, Tom.
Well, we were talking about putting pressure on the offense. They showed 11 up a moment ago and then backed out of it. But just a nice play that time. Gafford there on the tackle.
Until Cozart, the new quarterback. First time we've seen him in the second half. And Cozart on the keeper. Brought down by a duo of defenders, including Wingert. First time tonight we've called his name in the backfield. That's really one of his specialties. They'll use him, step him up towards the line of scrimmage, that extra hat in the box.
Yeah, Andrew Wingert, one of the top defensive players in the entire Mountain West Conference. You see how sneaky he is. He just really creates his own avenue. Nobody accounts for him, and he's in the backfield making the hit on Cozart.
Scott Hazelton, defensive play caller for the Cowboys, told us, you know, he'll run fast in the 40. Maybe he isn't the most athletic player on the field, but he plays like it. Backside pressure, and who else? Carl Granderson again.
Yeah, Granderson, Wingert, these guys are playing at such a high level on defense. It's remarkable. And again, how do you block him with one man, right? I mean, you got a chip. They tried to get a block with the tight end, Danins, and he just runs right by Danins.
Mountain West Conference Defensive Player of the Week had a safety a week ago and an interception in that come-from-behind win against Utah State. Third down and long. Cozart's got to be careful. Dumps it off to Wilson with a running lane. A nice stutter step. And Tom, he'll be about a yard short of the first down. We'll see if this is 4-down territory for the Broncos, who have yet to reach the end zone tonight. It's a gain of 15.
Nice tackle again by the Wyoming secondary, and it looked like Wilson had more room to run, Roy, and all of a sudden the running lanes just get shut down.
Fourth down and a short 2. Cozart under center in the offset eye. Play action. Cozart will tuck it and run with it, and he'll pick up the first down easily as he scoots out of bounds.
Well, it's a nice play call because it gives Cozart a run pass option. He ends up booting out, fake power. He sneaks out. He has Rowe in the flat, and then he does the right thing. He knows exactly where the sticks are. Gets enough for the first down and hops out of bounds.
Cozart remains on the field. Now under the 9-minute mark here in our third quarter. Patient running by Cozart. The KU transfer ahead to the 15.
You know what I like about Cozart? He brings great energy into the game, and you can tell that the team, the tempo picks up a little bit when he's in the game, taking nothing away from Brett Rippon. And I love the fact that they just substitute just whenever they want. They have such a great feel on the sideline. Zach Hill, the offensive coordinator, Brett Rippon knows, hey, Cozart's going to come in. I'm going to go back in.
Open carry gets 2.
7-3. Wyoming out in front of Boise State, approaching the halfway point. Third down and 3 coming up for the Broncos.
Again, a very manageable third down, Roy. They're doing a good job of getting gains on production on first and second down. It allows Cozart a much easier third down try.
Wilson in motion. Madison in the backfield. Cozart again up the middle. And the drive continues. A punishing run by the quarterback. Marcus Epps brought him down, but not before he picked up a Boise State first down.
just a great play by the Boise State offensive line, Roy, in that last play. You see the continuity going right now for Boise State.
And Brett Rippon back on the field on 1st and goal. Interesting use of the quarterbacks again by this Boise State coaching staff. Shovel pass, Jake Rowe has it. And brought down short of the 5, down at the 6. Andrew Wingard got him. 2nd down and goal upcoming.
Yeah, nice little wrinkle there. A lot of teams are running that now. Kind of a little shovel pass going in, and Jake Rowe, I think you just got to keep feeding your playmakers the ball, right? Cedric Wilson has to touch it. Jake Rowe has to touch it. Madison has to touch it. I mean, those are your guys.
On the 17th play of this possession, our opening possession of the 2nd half. Madison upended. Brought down at the 3 by Wingard. Broncos have yet to reach the end zone tonight. 3rd down and goal. What will be the biggest play of the game coming up?
Now we talk about getting the ball to your playmaker, Madison, but when you hand it to your playmaker and then the opponent's playmaker, Andrew Wingard, just comes up and fills the gap, puts a helmet right on him. You said it. Big play for Boise State. 3rd down. Again, they load up. You'd think it'd be a tight end, but you got Montel Cozart in the backfield as the quarterback.
Empty backfield. Interchanging quarterbacks throughout this possession. Cozart will call his own number. Cozart towards the end zone. Did he get there? Yes, he did. Touchdown. On one of the most patient drives you will ever see, the Broncos cash in.
Roy, I thought for a moment that Wyoming was going to stop Cozart from getting over the goal line, but the offensive line kept pushing. Cozart kept legs driving and finding Pater at that time for the Broncos.
Cozart finished out the game last week, a road win at San Diego State. 71 yards in 18 plays. And the Broncos finally reaching Pater on this chilly October evening. And for Cozart, Montel's what they call him. This is how he does it. Now the longest drive of the season for the Broncos, and both quarterbacks playing their part respectively and doing it very well. Brett Rippon and Montel Cozart. Nearly 10 minutes off the clock, and for Josh Allen and this Wyoming offense, they've been sitting around waiting now for a long period of time after their final possession of the 1st half. Tom Ramsey, Roy Philpott, and that final drive by the Pokes seems like it ended eons ago. And the Cowboys will now take over 1st and 10 from there. Back in the Treasure Valley, home of the Boise State Broncos. And Boise State with its first lead of the evening, 10-7. Jet sweep Conway, near side, tripped up, crossing the 45. And the Cowboys just trying to find some kind of way to generate some rush yards. And they've done it with Woods and also Conway after the 7-yard gain.
Boy, you just look at that clock. It's running tick away. Close to 3 minutes left in the 3rd quarter, and really the magnitude of that Boise State drive, almost 10 minutes off the clock, and boy, it puts a little pressure back on the Pokes.
Trey Woods back on the field. He'll fake the jet sweep. Allen steps up. Josh Allen has a 1st down and races out of bounds at the 40. Brett Vegan told us this week Josh Allen's going to have to extend drives with his legs. He's done it at times tonight.
I'm so impressed with his vision and the feel he has in the pocket. You have to have an internal time clock. It hits quick for him right there. And he captures a running lane, Roy, and he's able to just knife through it, gets a huge gain, and then all of a sudden they're knocking on the door.
Johnson in motion after the gain of 13. From the 39. Woods cuts it back, crosses the 35, and a gain of 5 on 1st down. Sam Whitney with the stop.
I love Trey Wood's vision here because he sees that Boise State's over pursuing, so he just finds a cutback lane right there and makes the backside linebacker make the tackle. And while it's a good tackle, it's a nice gain.
Converted linebacker sets up shop in the I formation. Wood spun down after about a half-yard gain. Bring up third down for the Pokes. Leighton Vander Esch with the tackle. Both of these teams, Tom, 4-2. Both of these teams 2-0 in the Mountain West Conference. Division rivals. Cowboys with their first win over Boise State last year in Laramie. And if you talk to Craig Bohl and Brian Harsin, it's a must-win game. If you plan on winning the Mountain West Conference, there's really no way around it. So there's a lot on the table in this matchup tonight. Josh Allen straight ahead. And on third down and 4, Allen rumbles down to the 15. Gain of 16 yards, and Allen looked like he knew exactly what he was doing on that play.
Yeah, Brent Vigen, the offensive coordinator, just a great play call here. They let the blocks develop, and then Josh Allen, just a quarterback, zone read essentially, but they end up having a couple nice blocks inside, and they loop a tight end around and log the linebacker. Next thing you know, gain of 16.
Just the second possession of our second half. Ninth play of this drive for the Pokes. Allen looking backside and lassoed from behind. He'll lose two back to the 20. Curtis Weaver with the hit, big number 99.
Curtis Weaver really played a fine game a week ago against San Diego State. Really made plays at the line of scrimmage. He made plays in pass coverage there. He makes a sack, but Roy, instead of taking a loss of 8, it's only a loss of 2. So again, credit Josh Allen for just making a heads-up play and not losing a lot of yards here in the red zone.
Under 30 seconds to play here in a fast-moving third quarter. Allen will sprint it outside, toss it towards the end zone, ready and waiting. Fort has it. Touchdown.
That, my friend, is a throw by a future NFL player right there, because he has a guy contesting him the entire way. Josh Allen comes out bootleg, and he's got Gabe Perez just fighting with him, and he fires the ball and throws a strike to Austin Fort.
I don't know how many different ways I've asked you questions about Allen's performance this year. It's been average at best at times, and then you turn the film on and watch a sequence like that. That's why scouts love him. An extra point up and good. 14-10 our new score. Josh Allen on the ground. Josh Allen through the air on that possession.
Josh Allen just keeps competing. He keeps fighting, and he keeps willing the Cowboys.
Wyoming offense has not been as prolific this year as it was last season in winning the Mountain Division Championship. As Cedric Wilson bolts near side with a running lane and tripped up crossing the 40. Good field position for the Broncos. Brett Rippon back on the field. Of course, his uncle Mark played for the Redskins. Won a world championship in our nation's capital. On first down, he'll float it off his back foot. Madison has it. And Alexander Madison into plus territory on what should be the final play of our third quarter. It's a gain of 8 brought down by Wingert. And what will our final 15 minutes have in store in this very important divisional rivalry game between the Pokes and the Broncos? 14-10, the Cowboys with a 4-point lead. Our final 15 minutes coming up from Boise, Idaho. 14-10, Wyoming with the advantage over division rival Boise State. Rams down in Fort Collins having a sensational start to their year under Mike Bobo. 6-2, undefeated in the Mountain Division as well. Colorado State beating New Mexico last night. Fresno State, meanwhile, putting it to San Diego State. Bulldogs are undefeated in the West Division as Madison, some nifty moves, picks up a first down, the first play of the fourth. It's a gain of 7. We'll see if the Broncos can respond after a 2-possession third quarter moments ago.
Yeah, I still am in disbelief, Roy, when you mentioned it a moment ago. Just only 2 possessions in that third quarter. But you see Madison, this is where he's making hay, right? Lowering the shoulders, leg drive, pushing the pile. That's when you get those extra yards.
Quarterback exchange continues. Montel Cozart back on the field. Madison motions out. Cozart straight ahead. He had a running lane, but tackled by Priester. And I mean, he just got there, Tom.
Yeah, and Priester came from the cornerback position. So Scotty Hazelton drawing up a couple blitzes of his own. Priester coming off the edge, unblocked, making the hit on Cozart. Cozart doing a good job hanging on to the ball, too.
Senior from Tampa. Forces 2nd down and 12 for the Broncos. Both of these teams have won their last 3 ball games. Rippon rifles it down the field. Caught, first down for the Boise State Broncos. Jake Rowe, another grab. All the way down to the 27.
Jake Rowe's a big target. He runs a little corner route, and then they sneak the back out, so they have a little over-under, and they just kind of work on Priester. Just put him in a bind.
Cozart back on the field. Well, every other play, we're seeing a different quarterback. Ryan Wolpin, the running back. Cozart try to get to the edge. Can he get there? Yes. And scampers out around the 20. So you're a former quarterback. You played in the NFL. You played at UCLA. I mean, this can't be an easy merry-go-round situation for these 2 quarterbacks, but they're making it look like that tonight.
Well, it is if that's your offense. And in this instance, this is their offense. Both quarterbacks are very much a part of it. So they know they're not getting pulled out of a game because they did something bad. They're both, you know, it's 1A and 1B, right? I mean, Rippon's going to start. He's going to play a lot, but Cozart's going to come in, have a package of plays. I think it's a great utility weapon, and you can tell Boise State's totally comfortable with it.
Inside zone, Madison tried to hurdle Wyoming defender. That was Wingert.
And I think, Roy, people were trying to make, maybe writers in Boise, maybe fans of Boise State, they were trying to make, it's a quarterback controversy. No. And the coaches, I told Brian Harsin, I said, listen, I love what you're doing. And, you know, because you're throwing different punches at a defense and you want to keep the defense off balance. What better way is to have 2 quarterbacks that understand your system inside and out, but they have different packages.
3rd and inches. Cozart under center. Straight ahead. And he's got the first down. Well, we spoke with Brett Rippon yesterday in the Boise State locker room for just a couple of minutes. Demeanor was fantastic. Seemed to be good with what's been happening here with the Broncos offense. Cozart the quarterback. Wolpin the running back. Crossing the 10 down to the 9. On first down, Ryan Wolpin picks up 6.
Good hard running by Wolpin. That's a nice change of pace. Madison's been really the workhorse tonight. Madison 73 yards on 14 carries, and Wolpin, that's his 2nd carry of the night. Nice play, and it gives Boise State a nice opportunity.
Cozart try to get to the edge again. He does inside the 5, steps out at the 4. Good enough for another Broncos first down. So 1st and goal on a very swift-moving second half.
Boy, Cozart, he's quick now. If he's outrunning Andrew Wingert, and he gave him a good straight arm, too. I mean, it's a nice play by Cozart. Sending Wingert into the bumper guards.
First down and goal. Under 11 to play. here inside of Albertson Stadium. Rippon back on the field at quarterback. On the swing pass. Nifty move towards the end zone. Touchdown. Cozart, the quarterback turned receiver, reaches pay dirt again. Well, this guy can do a little bit of everything.
Well, Roy, they had both players, both quarterbacks on the field a week ago against San Diego State. Brett Rippon threw Montel Cozart a completion last week, and then this week they kind of run it off the same motion, but Cozart does a great job getting back. He reverses field. The question will be whether he's broke the plane or not. I believe he did. But it's a nice play call again, a nice wrinkle that time by Zach Hill and that Boise State offense.
And the Broncos back out in front. Hogarth. All-important extra point is true. And our new score 17-14. 10:40 remaining in this one. The City of Trees, quarterback to quarterback. Cozart, his second touchdown of the night. He's been impressive. Beautiful night for college football. The rain has subsided momentarily for Brett Rippon and Montel Cozart. Been on fire in this second half. 3 possessions so far in our final 2 quarters between these 2 programs, Tom. 3 touchdowns and all 3 possessions really chewing time off the clock.
Yeah, stick around for this one. Whoever has the ball last is going to win. What's interesting, Roy, Boise State on 3rd down in the second half so far, 5 of 6 on 3rd down. I always think huge difference maker. The first half they were only 1 of 6. So they've really done some good things offensively, and they've really created opportunities for themselves. Nice play calling.
Velasquez will kick things off for the Broncos. Milo Hall back deep to receive for the Cowboys. Wyoming's defeated Boise State just 1 time in 11 previous meetings, that coming last year in Laramie. Trying to make it 2 for 2
this year.
Woods off the right tackle, barrels his way ahead to the 29, brought down by Frazier. Nawahine. A gain of 4.
Well, in Boise State this year, the last few games on the road, the Boise State defense has played lights out. I wouldn't say they played lights out so far tonight. They've played well. They've given a lot of yards up, but right now their backs against the wall with number 17, Josh Allen, coming at them.
Allen with time. Will bounce that one to his intended target. 3rd down and 6 coming up. Looking for Conway. And with Tom Ramsey, Roy Philpott, great to have you with us inside of Albertson Stadium in front of some 35,000 Bronco fans. This critical Mountain Division matchup. Back and forth we have gone here in this second half. Rain has subsided for now. Big play coming up right now on 3rd down. Empty backfield for Allen with time. Off the back foot. And looking for Josh Harshman. Nawahine in coverage, and that play really never had a chance, Tom.
No, it was a good pressure package that time by Boise State, and I'm sure Josh Allen once, if he had a split second more, he would have found, I believe it was Nico Evans, was further outside towards the sideline, and they had completed that one earlier tonight.
The Mountain West Conference Special Teams Player of the Week fields this one cleanly. Avery Williams, so dangerous, and brought down in plus territory at the 49-yard line. So the Broncos with all kinds of momentum after forcing the 3 and out. And Avery Williams getting the job done once again after the 36-yard punt. 1st and 10 for Boise State when we return. Under 10 to play. Back in the Treasure Valley. Critical Mountain Division matchup between 2 old rivals, the Broncos and the Cowboys. Boise State football at the Wyoming 48 to start this drive. We'll see if Brett Rippon, Montel Cozart and company can keep this second half momentum going. After the 15-yard return by Avery Williams, the line drive punt. Broncos in business. Inside handoff. And Madison sandwiched between two Cowboy defenders. That was Logan Wilson with the initial contact.
Well, and Roy, what Boise State wants to do right now, they want to finish the game on a physical note, right? They want to be fast and physical. We talked about it at the top of the game. Boise State wanted to pound the ball, use the ground game tonight, and they finished last week's game against San Diego State, putting together a nice 70-yard drive with all runs.
We'll swing it out to Madison, who already has 75 yards on the ground. He'll pick up a couple of more here. And leaps out of bounds near the 25. Rico Gafford, the victim that time for the Cowboys defense. Boy, we're seeing more of this in college football. The leaping over defenders.
Yeah, I don't like to see guys. I mean, once in a while, yeah, it makes for good TV. But right there, that's good TV right there. That's and that's good running.
A.J. Richardson with a nice block to spring him loose as well against Wingert.
Yeah, credit Richardson with the block on the best tackler for Wyoming.
Rippon checks out. Cozart checks in. Pump fake, slant. Wilson's got it for the touchdown. Well, he burned Tyler Hall. He had the inside leverage from 24 yards out, and the Broncos extend their lead.
Quick hitting, explosive offense. That's Boise State getting back in the groove, and Brian Harsin and Zach Hill really dialing a nice play up there. Again, going to their playmaker, Cedric Wilson.
And you saw Cozart's eyes right as he got the snap, knew that Wilson was going to have a chance. And a picture-perfect toss leads to 6 points. Extra point is good, and Montel Cozart has thrown a touchdown, has ran for a touchdown, and also caught another one. The KU grad transfer has been the spark for the Broncos offense as Boise State extends its lead to 10.
We are back. Boise State going up 24-14, and there's a reason why Montel Cozart's eyes got big. He saw the safety in between the hash marks, and he starts sneaking up, and then he knows he has one-on-one coverage outside with his playmaker. Cedric Wilson just runs a quick slant, and the ball delivered. Perfect, on time, touchdown Cedric Wilson. A nice 10-point lead for the Broncos.
Largest lead of the evening. Cowboys will take it out to the 25 after the touchback. The plot thickens now for Josh Allen and Wyoming, trailing by 2 scores. Pump fake. Allen will buy some time, flings it incomplete, looking for James Price. It'll be 2nd and 10.
You know, there'll be a coach in Josh Allen's ear. Might be Brent Vegan, his current coach. Settle, right? Settle your feet a little bit. And if he just settles, and I know why he's moving, and he does such a great job in the pocket, but if he just settles his feet, makes the throw, they're lining up, playing another down, 10 yards down the field.
8.5 to play. Trying to set up the middle screen. Nobody home. Allen gets knocked down to the blue turf. Sam Whitney with the pressure. And Allen pleading his case to our officiating crew.
Yeah, and Allen's fair to ground the ball there. He has his running back, Trey Woods, right there. Looked like they were trying to set up a little screen pass. And just a great play. David Moa, nose tackle, defensive tackle extraordinaire.
There's no foul for intentional grounding. Number 6 was in the area.
Yep, trying to get the ball to Woods, but Moa, what great pressure and pursuit that time by number 55.
Moa and Whitney right in Allen's grill. Pogue 6 of 11 on 3rd down tonight. None bigger than this. Here comes the pressure. Allen, the spin. Allen keeps the play alive. Cuts it back. And brought down short of the first down by 3 yards by Leighton Vander Esch. And let's see what Greg Bowl decides to do on 4th down.
Well, and Vander Esch was the player that had him wrapped up for a 15-yard loss. And somehow Josh Allen escapes the big hands of Vander Esch, the 8-man football extraordinaire for the Broncos. And then, boy, Josh Allen, is he exciting or what?
Incredible play by Vander Esch, his 10th stop of the night, as Avery Williams makes the fair catch. And the Broncos will have outstanding field position again. Brett Rippon is the quarterback. Two-time first-team Mountain West Conference performer. Madison had 75 yards before that carry. Will pick up 17 there. Brought down by Wingert and Epps. And Tom, we were told an interesting story by Brian Harsin and Zach Hill earlier this week. The offensive line for Boise State was not generating the kind of push that it needed to in losses earlier this season.
It was after the Virginia loss when they got pounded and they had the bye week. And what'd they do? They went to the Crowther, to the blocking sled. And every football player, I don't see them a lot anymore, but boy, they went out and hit the sled and got fast and physical. And right now, they're fast and physical.
Just an old school 5-man sled. They identified it on film. We're not generating the kind of holes we need for Madison and Wolpen or even Montel Cozart. It's Madison another big carry, make that Wolpen another big gain. And so it was kind of an old school approach that has paid dividends in these last couple of ball games. Boise State in the midst of a 3-game winning streak, trying to extend it to 4 tonight, and already at $162 on the ground with Madison leading the charge.
Well, they got some big cats up front. They just weren't moving their feet.
And Wolpen corralled behind the line.
And Brian Harsin knows. He said, hey, listen, I was paying attention a couple years ago. He was watching the NFL's New Orleans Saints. And what did Sean Payton do when they weren't drive blocking? Hey, guys, we're hitting the sled. And I mean, you get after hitting that sled and driving it. And there's about 3 or 4 coaches standing on the sled, by the way. So they put a little extra weight on there. And boy, that's how your offensive line comes off the ball.
Under 6 to play. The Cowboys need a stand here to try to get the football back to Josh Allen. Broncos, other intentions. Dangerous toss. Pass is caught by Wilson, who's sent down short of the 30. On 3rd down, Broncos need 6. Rippon delivers a strike. Caught by the tight end, Alec Danins. And that'll keep the drive alive for Boise State. It's a gain of 14 yards.
Danins a little shaken up after the catch. And, you know, what a great progression read that time by Brett Rippon. He's working strong side and comes back, and he knows he has Danins running a little dig route backside. 3rd choice on the throw, but
3rd reception of the season for big number 87 in blue. And now the Broncos content to milk some of this clock with a 2-score advantage. And 4.5 minutes to play. Got to think this one's going to stay on the ground. Ripping a nifty move. We'll pick up 2.
Yeah, we haven't called Carl Granderson's name in a little bit, but again, he's there to make the tackle on Rippon. And you know, credit where credit is due. Boise State's offensive line has done a masterful job in the second half tonight, Roy. They really picked up the pace. They were not good on 3rd down in the first half, only 1 of 6. In the second half, they've been tremendous, 6 of 7.
Cozart, the new quarterback. And he'll call his own number again. Tiptoe crossing the 15. Bring up third down and manageable.
I almost want to say Cozart, the old quarterback, right? I mean, he's been in so much tonight that they've done such a good job of rotating those key players. And again, the unselfishness of both Cozart and Rippon, I think that's what brings those guys together. And again, they've been tremendous on third down in the second half tonight, 6 of 7, and this has been the key to their productivity.
They'll run the Wildcat. Madison has it, trying to get to the edge and flung down just short of the mark. It'll make it 4th down and a yard for the Broncos. And let's see what Brian Harsin elects to do. Already a 2-score advantage. Does he go for the throw here or extend it to 13? Wilson, the lone receiver. Inside give. Wolpen stacked up, and he will not make the line he needed to get to. Logan Wilson got there with Jalen Ortiz, and on 4th down, the Broncos turn it over.
Nice defensive stand that time by the Pokes, and you know, again, credit Logan Wilson, just comes blasting through the A-gap and disrupts the play. See him just shoot the gap here. They just don't even put a hat on him. Hits Wolpen in the backfield, and Jalen Ortiz there to wrap him up and bring him down. But here's the opportunity, Roy. You got plenty of timeouts. Still have 2. You're down by 10 and 2:19. So a little bit of pressure. A little bit of pressure on Josh Allen, but not to say he can't get it done.
Allen on 1st down, sensing pressure. And across the middle for a short pickup. Nico Evans with a grab. That's a gain of 6. Van Der Esch, Maeva combined to make the stop.
Boy, he moves good in the pocket. Just great presence in the pocket. Feeling the rush, moving, avoiding.
And here comes pressure again. Allen, down he goes inside the 10. Curtis Weaver got there first.
And unable to avoid big number 99. Curtis Weaver.
It's called their 2nd timeout of the half.
Coming off the edge. And he beats the right tackle, Ryan Cummings. And Cummings is an experienced player right there. Weaver doing a great job.
4th sack of the night for Boise State. In the coming days, out of the timeout, Allen fires a shot ahead to the 20. Be short of the 1st down. It's a gain of 9. The stop by Horton as Conway reeled it in.
Yeah, they just don't get enough for the yardage on 3rd, so now you're down to 4th.
Cowboys down to their, could be their last offensive play. Instead, Allen reaches for the 1st down. That'll move the sticks. The Cowboys need chunks of yardage, and they need it quickly.
Big chunks. You know, this is the tough part. You just need so many yards, and against a really smart and well-played defense.
More pressure, the pump fake. And off the back foot. Not enough juice on that pass. Conway couldn't bring it in. Now, we mentioned the loss of weapons from last year's Wyoming team. Finished 8-6. Brian Hill, the school's all-time leading rusher. Tanner Gentry, that caught all those big-time passes, critical situations. Starting tight end, also starting center, no longer with this program. All 4 of those players with NFL teams as of 2 weeks ago. The offense has been a work in progress, and Boise State has made it more difficult tonight. Looking for James Price. And I believe it was picked off. And who else? Avery Williams. Boy, what a playmaker he is going to be for this Broncos program. Just a redshirt freshman. An outstanding cover corner, a dynamic return man, and he makes another big play here.
And a former walk-on, which is just remarkable that a player such as Avery Williams comes in. Again, special teams player of the week a week ago in the Mountain West Conference, and ball was thrown a little behind Price that time. Williams just making a nice play on the ball, and boy, it's been a tough night for Josh Allen, but he has given it his best effort.
So is this Broncos defense. And this is kind of the old school Boise State football returning here in the Treasure Valley, as the Broncos are going to win their 4th game in a row tonight, Tom. They'll travel down to Utah State for their next matchup, and I think they've put the rest of the Mountain West Conference on notice with this really last month on the football field. They've been impressive in different ways, special teams, at the line of scrimmage, and especially with this defense.
Well, the last time they were at home, I believe they got embarrassed by Virginia. And you know, it was not a good feeling. It wasn't a good taste in their mouth. They went on the road at BYU and San Diego State. And I think the victory last week in San Diego at the hands of the Aztecs, that proved to me, okay, they're good, and they're real good. But taking out Wyoming tonight, that's impressive by Boise State.
Final score 24-14 as the Broncos rally for the win, trailed at halftime 7-3 in the second half offense. For head coach Brian Harsin found its rhythm at the exact right moment. Broncos remain undefeated in the Mountain West, now 3-0 after another impressive win here inside Albertson Stadium. Up next, you have a chance to get caught up on everything that happened today in college football with College Football Final. Final score once again 24-14 for Tom Ramsey. I'm Roy Philpott saying good night from Boise, Idaho.